for right now, I'm just going to let them know, Gerson, what we're working on. So for right now, I'm going to give some instruction about the discussion project, and I'm going to show you where to find the assignment with what I have for additional information and support for students. Okay. So first thing that you should do, and Gerson, if you can follow along, that would be great. Hang on, I got to get this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get out of here so that I'm in the right spot. Oh, this is up here. Okay, so you first go into the classroom, and the assignment is in the tab that says classwork, and it's under group discussion assignment. Okay, so basically what the assignment is asking for you to do is to choose a topic that you can debate with someone else. You don't necessarily have to be completely against each other, but it's a good idea if you each choose one side of the topic in order for the sake of argument, okay? So you're gonna-
Is there a link to one of the topics? Or
I'm gonna get to that in just a second, okay? There's actually extensive links that I'm gonna show you and share with you so that you can utilize those. But I just wanna first talk about the assignment. So you're going to meet with the participant and you're going to discuss a plan on how are you going to go back and forth. And, you know, you've probably seen those goofy epic rap battles, you know, where it's like Socrates versus whoever, and they're talking about why one is good, one's point is better than the others or whatever. Or you can do traditional debate style, or you can just have a discussion. Two students yesterday did a debate on whether students should be doing virtual learning or whether they should be in seat, and they each argued a different point, and it was extremely successful. So that was a good topic. So what you have to do is research and gather additional sources to totally understand the topic, which sounds very challenging in an online environment, but actually it's very easy. So that's the part that I really want to teach you about right now. So basically, you're going to go to this link that says library, Follett Destiny, and I want you to just choose Central High School. You could probably go to yours, but your brick and mortar school, but I'm not positive that your school buys this program that I'm using today. So that's why I'm saying when you go in, your password all underscore is going to be Central HS. I'm sorry, your username is going to be Central HS, and your password is going to be small r, small I, 2903. When you do that, it's going to bring you to this site over here, the Social Issues Researcher, or SIRS as it's more commonly called, okay? You're going to just log in. The login with Clever button does not work. Go to the SIRS Issues Researcher, and this is where it gets really interesting. These are some issues that are leading issues that are confronting teens today, okay? This is the pull-down menu: crime and punishment, business and economics. Gerson, if you were to choose, just for the sake of argument, which one do you want to look at?
gun control.
Excellent. Okay, that's what I was hoping. I like to look at gun control. So basically, this is a sheet that gives you links to all the information that you need and shows you some articles that look at both sides. And this is extremely easy and convenient in our online environment for you to be able to read an article with a friend like the friend that you have. So I go down and it says, should gun regulations be tightened? That's your primary question for this particular. And then you see viewpoint 1. Tighter regulations are needed to reduce gun-related violence. That's one person's view. The other says tighter regulations interfere with an individual's right to bear arms. Now, these links that you see are three peer-reviewed sources or legitimate sources that look at each view. Okay. If you keep going down, there's always going to be a cartoon. See, we don't sell these dangerous items, right? So it's like a pocket knife, like a little keychain that probably has mace on it, a box cutter, but yet in the back you see like assault rifles that kill thousands of people, and he has a National Rifle Association hat on. You could use this as a source if you wanted to for debate, okay? Critical questions. Does the historical evidence support the conclusion that the Second Amendment guarantees the individuals, the right of individuals to possess firearms? Does the experience of countries other than the US support the argument for stronger gun control? You know, in the UK, like police don't carry guns, they just carry a stick. So that's probably what they're talking about. And then down here, there's a gun control timeline that will tell you the history of it in a really nice way. And you can go to view the full timeline and use any of this information. But let's go back. So there are a couple things that you can do with this sheet. One thing that's really interesting is you can save it to the cloud and then go to this and go to, I'm going to put it on Google Classroom just so that the sheet is available there. And you'll be able to see it over there. But another thing that you could do with it is you could just save it to your drive. It'll save automatically to your drive. See, I'm going to say make announcement. So I'm just going to put this in as an announcement. Here is a SIRS issues sheet. And then I'll post it. So when you go into this, it's gonna, oh shoot, sorry. What it's gonna do is it's gonna put that up there, and the links will be live, which is really convenient. But you can go right here to Google Drive and save it to your Google Drive when you go in there. Another thing you can do is click on this. Let's say that you decide that you're gonna do universal checks won't stop mass killing. Bring that article up, and now you can email it to your friend right here. And then you can email it to yourself. So you each have a copy. That's what you want to do. You want to read 2 articles, okay? And another thing that's really important is for your citation, the Modern Language Association, in order for us to see that it's a real article, teachers to see that, and professors later when you're in college, they want to look at your sources. And for English, they always use the Modern Language Association formatting style for citations. APA 6, you'll see, is also an option used in social sciences, and then Turabian 8, which is more used for like physics and hard sciences by scientists, okay? So I'm gonna hit the copy button. Gonna go over to my, back into my classroom, into my drive. And then here, I'll start a new document. I'm just gonna hit Command V. And now I've pasted, this is the way that college students post, this is how they have to cite their work for an English paper. Control, wait a minute, Z, I'm gonna undo that. Okay, so I center it, I write works cited, and then I would do that with all my sources and put them in alphabetical order. Make sure that the default is Arial 11, but Times New Roman is the font that they use for the Modern Language Association website. So that's what you use for your papers. And now you could go back. I'm gonna just click works cited here. When I click this, it'll make works cited. And then I'm gonna put your name there because I'm gonna send this to you. And then let's go back just in again and go back and look at on the other side, news reports confirm what should be obvious, smart gun laws save lives. That sounds like a good one. So now I'm gonna go to site, make sure it says MLA 8, hit copy, go back to my works cited, and then just very simply just Command V and paste it. What I do wrong? LMN, okay, it's NO, so that's not right. So I'm gonna delete this, it's gotta be alphabetical order. So I'm gonna take it out, move this one down, go up, Command V again, and there we go. So now NO, it's in alphabetical order, and you've got your works cited already done for you. This is college style, just like the very best senior in college that's trying to get a paper published, you've done it exactly the same way. Okay, so that's that has to be part of your paper. So I'm going to share that with you. And then what is the student's name you're going to work with?
No, Desmond Sawyer, I think.
Oh, sorry, I lost you there. And then Desmond, did you say?
Yeah,
And
right
this
there.
one, Shoshoyer,
Mm-hmm.
or is it, okay. So
It shows
how do you say it?
Desmond Show Sawyer.
Shoshoyer, okay. So I'm going to send that to both of you. Now you both have it. And the fact sheet is right in Google Classroom that you can look at. And what I would do is just go back and forth, you know, take a look at these articles. Like I said, you could use just one cartoon in one article, or you could, in Germany, tough laws, gun violence. These are some related topics over here. But the sheet will show you like all the different associated topics. And this is actually an expensive website. So we're very lucky that we have the opportunity to get these in such a like usable form, because it gives you quite a bit right there that you can use. And it's exciting. And like I said, there's also, let's see, go to viewpoints. I like to use the viewpoint section and then the critical questions, because you might not even want those 6 articles. You're like, that's not exact. I'm not really talking about gun regulation. What I really want to talk about is, does the historical evidence support the conclusion that the Second Amendment guarantees the right of individuals to possess firearms? Or, I mean, you're making it more complicated for yourself if you do that, but it depends on how you want to go on it. So once you guys have both looked at your article, this is what some other kids did. They looked at the article in the morning, and then at 1 o'clock, they came on with me and they did it debate style. Like one person said, I was the moderator, and then one person said what her view was on online instruction. The other person said what their view was, and one wanted in seat and one wanted online. So they gave me a list. I took notes of it, and they gave me a list of the advantages and the disadvantages of each. They each came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They each came up with 7 points, and they each spoke a little bit. They did have their cameras on, which was kind of helpful because I could see them. They could see me. And I taped it as an example, which I didn't ask them yet if they would let me use it, but it was a really good debate. And what we were talking about, in the end, they were saying that there does need to be the option of online, even if everybody doesn't do it, because some kids, it's not fair if their family doesn't have a car and they can't get into school, which happens sometimes. They're put at an academic disadvantage because of their finances, and that is unjust, was what the answer was. And while not every kid is going to get the same experience of being in school, you know, they're not going to get to have the prom when they're online. They're not going to get to have the same sports experience and the same socializing. They determined in the end that it was necessary for other students to be able to have the experience of having an equal playing field where they could get an A no matter what their economic situation was. So that was a really good debate. And I'm sure you could do just as well. So this is what I suggest that you use. This will make life a lot easier. You can share it easily with email, and you do have to each have one source that goes on a different side. If you went up here where it says search SIRS issue researcher, you could find additional articles as well. And I think this is a good one. Another thing you could do if you're really interested in gun control is you could go to Rhode Island Kids Count, which is a website. You could use some data from that, and anything that has to do with kids, like if you wanted to say how many children in the last 10 years in Rhode Island died because they were handling a firearm that discharged and killed a child. That could be a statistic a local statistic that you could find. You just type in Rhode Island Kids Count, KIDSCOUNT, Kids Count, and they have researched a lot of issues that have to do with human and health services for children. And they've been, I think they're funded by the Rhode Island